Messi. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just when you think he's done everything, he comes up with something even more special. Nani. Oh, wonderful. What a goal. And what a time. In what a place. What a player. Fuchs. Rolling for Vardy. Onside. Jamie Vardy. And then Ronaldo! Oh! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
Just realised my mic was off. Welcome to Soccer Card Collective. This is episode 6. We're here with Luke, Mars Sports. Also, you'll find me at Azzurro_cards on Instagram. How you going, mate? Going well?
Good, Dan. You?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just us two today. It's the OGs. Vincent's still on holiday, mate. We've got CD Steve in the chat. CD Steve's here. Cosmic is here. How are you guys?
Positives here as well. What's happening? What's happening?
It's a little bit depressing seeing Vincent live it up in wherever he is at the moment.
I think he went to Spain, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah. It's
living it up in Spain, and we're still stuck in the house. I love it.
We're stuck in the house. The weather is pretty nice outside, but we can't really enjoy it all that much, unfortunately. But is right. What it is.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, exactly. Bit of a week we've had in soccer.
Yeah, I'd say. Big weekend. Lots of big games, big moments.
Especially if you were a United fan. Let's get right into it. We'll get to the EPL results. I like to just smash it out straight away, straight off the bat.
Get to Serie A.
Get to set it up, exactly right. And we'll get to the United game, but we've got a few to get through to start off with. Crystal Palace over Tottenham. I could not believe that result there.
Yeah.
3-0.
Because, everyone coming into the game, everyone was like, Tottenham hasn't conceded a goal. They've won all their games. And here they are. And one of your boys had his debut.
Yeah, Palace. Edward with 2 goals as well. Later in the game, I think he came off the bench, didn't he?
Off the bench, yeah.
Great start. He's a player I've got a guy at work who's a big Celtic fan, and he kept on saying to me, because I was talking to him about soccer cards, and he was saying, Edward, you picking up his cards? How much are he's going for? And I'm like, Edward, who is he, whatever, and looked into it a fair bit, and he obviously made the move to Crystal Palace because maybe the top teams is probably too much of a jump for him, and I think it's probably a good landing spot for him in the end. And
definitely,
he started off very well.
How old is he? He's still pretty young, isn't he?
I think he's. Oh, I'll actually have a look. And I always stuff up his spelling. I always butcher it.
Yeah, me too. I always have to Google.
Yeah,
go
I've
through
got
the
it here
team,
for you.
and then I was going to say scroll down to lineup and just click on him. You should be able to do that, shouldn't you? On the bench, a bit further down.
Where are we?
22.
I'm looking at Tottenham
yeah, there
for some
you go.
reason, like a dopey. And he is 23 years old, so
23.
Still fairly young, but for a striker, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, they did miss Son positive. Yeah, they definitely did. Well, what do you think? What do you think is wrong with this team? I mean, they started out pretty well, but this is probably a game that you want them to win. You would have thought they would have anyway.
Yeah, I would have thought so as well. When was the red card? Because
came 58th minute.
A bit of a difference.
So 58th minute, and
so all 3 goals came in after
they
the red
came
card,
after that.
so it could have played some part of it. Yeah,
yeah,
could have played some part in that.
And it was
Is it panic stations?
Probably not.
I wouldn't say it's panic stations yet, to be honest.
No.
Considering they had some missing, like Positive said. Yeah, away from home, red card. What do you do?
Wolves 2-0 over Watford, Brighton 1-0 over Brentford, and Arsenal finally got the win.
First points of the season.
In pretty unconvincing fashion, let's be honest.
I believe it was their first goal as well they scored, isn't it, for the season?
Probably.
I think it was. Yeah, good to see Arsenal bounce back, though. 30 shots. Look at that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy stat. 7 on target. It's not really a great return. Fairly even possession.
Yeah. Passes the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
maybe this can springboard their season. Probably not.
Potentially. Maybe not a Norwich game, but
nah.
Then we had the boy return to Old Trafford.
One of our feature games on Double Coverage Media. We'll call it Super Saturday Night watch parties. We had a great time. The boy Ben and Doma, they loved it, and rightfully so. Ronaldo, 2 goals. The first one, it was a tap in, but you'll take it. It was absolute scenes when he was celebrating. It was good to see. Like, even as a Ronaldo fan, it's not a United supporter. It was still so good to see. And the second goal was a nice finish, megging the keeper, which was good. Fernandez's goal was crazy. What a hit that was. And good to see Lingard scoring as well off the bench.
Now, one of the things I actually wanted to know, because we're all talking about when Ronaldo does come in, what positions he going to play, and is it going to be sacrificing a lot of the younger players? And to be honest, I see this whole lineup up to the defence as being the lineup that I would go with. You've got Greenwood and Sancho on either side, young kids who are showing so much promise. You want to see them on the field as much as possible. You've got an experienced head behind them.
Especially Sancho in this game, it looks like his confidence is really starting to rise. Hopefully that can continue, because I think he's a great player personally.
You've got to get him on the pitch, and seeing Pogba near Matic as well. And I think we've been talking about it a bit. He's been thriving this season, and having a player like Matic next to him is obviously going to be a lot better than having a Fred there.
Yeah.
He needs someone. He needs someone taking on. When he was playing for Juventus, and I was watching him day in, day out. I don't watch him as much now, but he was surrounded by talent like Pirlo. He had fantastic support system around him, and I think he thrives on that with Matic. And just having that lineup is going to be great for them going forward, and hopefully they don't tinker with it too much. Let's say.
Even the way they played, it wasn't very the way I saw it, it wasn't hugely Ronaldo dominated the play, or everything had to go through him. There was a lot of the ball that was going around. It was just with Pogba as well. I think he plays best when he's got a midfielder next to him that's more defensive minded, maybe like Matic is. So he can sort of show his expression going forwards a little bit better. Compared to his defensive mindset, for example. The other thing I'm thinking of is what happens when Rashford comes back. Who drops out of this?
He's more right orientated, isn't he? So you would think potentially Greenwood, but
you say Greenwood, which would be a shame because Greenwood's played so well starting this season.
But then you could drop.
There's a lot of games.
Drop Sancho. You could drop Sancho and have him cut in from the right, but you've got to have depth at the end of the day.
That's true. That's true.
It's up to the coach to manage it.
I feel like Rashford's too good to be not starting.
Yeah.
But then again, the talent they've got here, these guys are all starters at the moment. So it's going to be tough for Ole to decide.
It was great to see Van de Beek come on.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. And Lingard as well. They've got a lot of talent. They really do.
Yeah,
it's quite impressive.
Even their starting four at the back looks pretty good. There's maybe something you can say about Harry Maguire, but the other two, Wan-Bissaka I really like, and Luke Shaw's really upped his game recently, and Varane, speaks for himself with his achievements at Real. Yeah, even De Gea's having a good start to the season too.
He is, yeah. He had a good save in this game too, didn't he?
I think I can't remember off the top of my head. I know against last week he basically saved them a few times.
It'll actually be exciting to watch Man United this season, even if I do it begrudgingly as a Juventus fan. Southampton, West Ham, 0-0. Leicester, 0. Man City, 1. Bernardo Silva got the goal there. One of the games I did want to focus on was Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0, and I watched a bit of the replay.
Yeah.
Lukaku was phenomenal in this game. Phenomenal. His goal was so, you talk about movement, the way that he put himself on the left, cut it down to the right, like that's a type of agility that you didn't see in his first stint at Chelsea, and obviously Manchester United as well. But then I think he's probably, in my opinion, the best striker in the Prem at the moment.
Definitely a case for that. He's come back, because I remember from the United days, how average he was. He's come back a completely different player from that time at Inter. And I hope that Tammy Abraham sort of has the same sort of maybe development going over to Italy, probably a bit younger than what Lukaku was when he went over, but he can have that same sort of development and come back and just be an absolute beast like Lukaku is at the moment. He's killing it. When he came in, I had a bit of maybe not so much doubts, but maybe a little bit of doubts on how much impact he'd have straight away. And I was definitely wrong, and I'm happy that I was wrong, because he's come in and he's absolutely killed it. It was good to see a bit of a different lineup played today. Played on the weekend. We had Hudson-Odoi play at fullback to replace at wingback to replace Reece James. He's suspended at the moment. Ziyech played instead of Mount. He got locked up at Anfield. Saul, who's on loan from Atletico, apparently I didn't get to watch this game because we were watching the Napoli game on stream, but apparently he had an absolute rubbish first half and came off at halftime for Jorginho, which is not a great debut. But I think he'll come to terms a little bit, because he hasn't been at the club long so far anyway, so I'm sure he'll come good. But yeah, overall 3-0 win over Villa. Positive signs again.
On Saul, did you see what Tuchel said about him? He absolutely ravaged him.
Yeah, he copped it.
He just a baptism of fire or something like that. Like, give the guy a couple of games before you start slamming him in the press space. Pretty out of control. But okay, no problem. Liverpool got the win over Leeds. Salah, Fabinho, and Mane. Leeds, I don't know. Like, they seem to be stuttering in their second season in the league. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, it seems like, if you go down, what was the lineup like? I actually didn't catch any of this game apart from the injury to Harvey. Go down a little bit. Not Harvey. What's his name? Harvey Elliott. Sorry. Apart from that injury, I didn't catch any of this, unfortunately. That was a shame, because the game that I watched. What game did we watch? Liverpool. I did watch a Liverpool game this season. I can't remember which one it was now, but he looked like he'd been playing very well. So it's a shame, because he's a young guy. Yeah, apart from this, I don't really have much else to say, to be honest, because I didn't catch any of this, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just wonder about Leeds, because they were a team I was kept on watching a lot of last season. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. And as Positive said, Leeds have really dropped off from their form from last season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought they were going to bring a lot of that into this season. They obviously kept their coach. They haven't really changed all that much, but very hard for a team like Leeds to maintain that unless you're buying significant amount of players. Everyone seems to have increased in quality, and you just need to continue to do that, and it's very difficult for the mid-tier teams.
Do you want to have a quick look at the table for EPL?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Everton all on 10 points. Man City, Brighton's up there as well as Tottenham, all on 9. West Ham, Leicester, Brentford, Crystal Palace. I kept on reading just because I want to see what Arsenal is. They're 2 points from relegation zone at the moment, but we do have a long season left.
16th. I think it was a positive or Cosmic who said it in the chat before. You were right there. They've conceded 9 goals and only scored the 1, which was in this game. Yeah, it was Cosmic.
That's terrible. We'll see what that defender that they got from Serie A, Tomoyasu, how he helps things. I know in Serie A he was really good, like really impressive. So it'd be good to see how he shakes up in the Prem, especially in a team like Arsenal. But can't be any worse than what they've been recently. You look at that, like, just a lot of red, and not the red of Arsenal, mate, the red of losses. So yeah, I mean, look, it is very early to say when it comes to the table. So very difficult to see how this will play out throughout the season. Obviously, don't think Everton will stay there, and definitely don't think Brighton will finish up 6, but we'll see.
Yeah, still very early. I reckon Leicester is going to move up a few spots from 9th, personally.
Yeah, I think they got a great side. Move over to Serie A. Venezia got their first win over Empoli. The calamity game that we did watch on stream was Napoli-Juventus. I'll let you take this one.
Oh, man.
You guys won. It's all yours.
It was good to get the win, but like I said, I'd rather a good performance and maybe – because to be honest, this game should have ended up a draw. Both teams should have gone away with a point each. That would have been fair. If we put in a good performance, got a draw out of this, I probably would have been more happy at this stage of the season compared to what we saw here. Like those goals, oh my God. All 3 of the goals were rubbish. Yeah. Especially the Keane header, for you guys was crap. Manolas made a big mistake for the Juventus goal. I don't know. For me, it just seemed so. There just seemed like such a big disconnect between the midfield and then the front 3, in particular Osimhen. I said it on stream, I felt like he was very isolated up top by himself. Insigne didn't have a great game either, which was a shame. And Guiza, who was on debut, he played quite well. I was happy with his performance. It was good to see. Politano got the goal, and Koulibaly as well at the back. Did his thing off that terrible. I don't know what Keane was thinking, to be honest. I still don't know now. It's been a few days to digest, and I still don't get what he was doing. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say about the Napoli side. I'll take the win. It could be important, especially later in the season as well. But right now, you want to focus on putting in a good performance, and that wasn't it.
Touch on the lineup thing. It's, the way it's lined up here is pretty much the way that they did play from what I saw. And what I mean by that is you've got Angucia, is that how you say his name? In the middle, by himself, right? And he's having to control this midfield, and there's not really all that much support for Osimhen up top, right? No. These guys stay fairly wide, and if they do cut in, it's to take shots, right? Yeah. So he's pretty much got 2 defenders on him at all times.
Yeah.
I would feel the better way to go about it would be to have Ruiz and Almas play a little bit more central, give De Lorenzo and Rui a lot more opportunity to overlap, and maybe play someone in the attacking role there. But it didn't really happen all that much, and you kind of had this, like you said, a disconnect between the midfield and the attack. And then Osimhen needs a bit of support, and I think he would play a lot better with somebody good next to him even, but it's never going to happen when you've got Insigne having to play on that side. I feel like maybe Insigne being a little bit closer, you put Politano behind them, I think that would be a lot better, but you sacrifice his ability to cut in. That's the only thing you worry about.
I feel like when Mertens plays, he does drift in a bit more than what Insigne does, so that might help him out a little bit too. But having Osimhen up there by himself against, when you're playing two quality centre backs, like who started? It was Chiellini and Bonucci that started for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you got him against those two, like it's going to be very difficult for him. Especially he's still young. It's only his second season in Serie A, and he didn't play. Oh, well, he played, half the season almost last season with injuries and COVID. So, when he comes up against two centre-backs like this, world-class, he's not going to have a great game if he doesn't have a lot of support around him. Speaking about not having great games, the whole Juventus side, to be honest with you, I was lost for words with it, but I'm going to give it a little bit of a pass given the fact that we've got so many players out. Yeah. We had Dybala out. We had Chiesa out. We had the two left and right backs out. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'd like to have Szczesny out of there and get Perrin in. Obviously, we would want Dilly in there as well. So, look, I'm not going to say too much because it's very hard to judge him based on this team. But, mate, I'll expect a lot better throughout the season. Global, how are you, mate? How you doing, Global? Atalanta, Fiorentina. We saw my boy Vlahovic get on the score sheet twice, even though they were both penalties. But, we'll take it. We'll take it. There's only two players in 2021 who have scored more goals than him, and they are Lewandowski and Haaland. And then there is Vlahovic, right? That's a great start. Incredible stat, mate. He is so under the radar for anybody who is collecting. The people who are watching now or listening back, the fact that in the soccer card market you are trying to collect strikers makes it absolutely baffling that he's been left off the picture. And I'm not saying everyone go clamoring to his cards, but I feel like he does need a lot more respect than what he's being shown. I feel like if he was in any league other than Serie A, it would be much better. Much the same. I was talking to Saucy about it today about Chiesa. If he was English, his rookie cards would be thousands, right? For sure. They're just, for whatever reason, they're just not getting the love that they deserve because they're in Serie A. How old is he? I've got it up here. I'm trying to find it. He's about 21-ish. So he's young too. He's born in 2000. So he's 21. 21, yeah, there you go. Yeah. I know him like the back of my hand, man. I've looked at his rookie tickets and the stats on the back that many times. That's crazy. Because I thought maybe he might have been a little bit older, a few years older. That could have been maybe one of the reasons why he wasn't getting that much attention. But holy shit. He's an absolute stud, mate. He's an absolute stud. That's crazy. Definitely check him out. And the reason why I say check him out, right, is because strikers in football, what people need to understand is they are not on a consistent level a dime a dozen, right? You will get seasons where they do perform well before players to maintain that over the long term. It is so difficult, right? And you're going to get players that fall off a cliff. João Felix is probably one of them that springs to mind straight away. One that always comes to mind for me, Piatek, before he went to Milan. The run that he had before then was crazy. And there's heaps of players like that. Robinho, to be honest. Yeah. Piatek, I think he's in Germany at the moment. He's in Germany. I don't think he's particularly he's playing with Hertha. Overly prolific. Sorry, he's fourth. He's fourth, not third. Messi scored a lot as well. So it was. I'll just bring this over. That's still a great start. Absolutely. So I'll show you the thing I was looking at. I know we're spending a little bit of time on it, but I just really think that he deserves a lot more credit than what he's showing. So Lewandowski on 30, Messi 23, Haaland 22, and then you got Vlahovic and Ronaldo, right? Like, look at the company he's with at the moment. At 21 years old as well. At 21 years old. Okay. Now,
I was picking up. I don't even know how many rookie tickets of his I have. I've got a lot. So I'm just disclosing this to everybody. This is not a pump and dump or anything, right? But the stats show it, right? Is all I'm kind of saying. If we're talking about Haaland and he's only scored 2 goals more than Vlahovic, I think he just needs to look at. He definitely needs to look at. He's got the build, the speed. Definitely has the potential at 21 years old. His ceiling is very, very high. Check him out.
Is it because Fiorentina aren't playing European football though?
Very much so. Very much so. Definitely. But it doesn't stop you going like Camavinga cards going like crazy. I know he did have the Champions League, but there are a lot of players like just heaps. Like there's a lot that kind of don't fit that mold. I'm
with you. I agree with you there, to be honest. And
I think it's the Champions League thing.
Yeah, I reckon it is as well. Because I'm just trying to think. It's like it's not because like usually you can put it down to like age. It seems to be the biggest thing on why some people aren't keen on some players. And then I'd say probably Champions League is probably the second biggest one.
When's his contract up? I think it was up last season. I believe he signed a contract. I'll have a look. But I think he did extend it recently. I think the owner didn't like what he was going to get, and they made an agreement to like kind of extend it. He'll be off. Don't worry about that. He'll go eventually. But yeah, even when I type it in, he said I decided to stay at Fiorentina. But I think he'll be on the move next season. I would love him at Juventus. Actually, no, his contract expires June 30, 2023. Okay, so he's still got a little bit of time. But if you were Fiorentina and you wanted to capitalize on him, you'd sell him next season without letting him go into the following transfer window and potentially losing him for free. We've got Sampdoria, Inter, 2-2. Bit of a stutter step by Inter Milan. Lautaro Martinez got on the score sheet. Unfortunately,
that goal was real nice as well. The Barella rode the tackle, kept dribbling, ball to Martinez, first time finish was great. Great to see. But yeah, a draw, unfortunately, which is not a great result in the end.
He's another guy with a lot of potential. Cagliari 2, Genoa 3, Torino 4-0 over Salernitana, Spezia 0, Udinese 1, Milan 2, Lazio 0, and your boy Rafael Leao with an absolute belter of a goal. He's having such a good season so far.
Definitely a great start. I can't wait to get some of his cards back from Ship My Cards when I finally put that request in. But yeah, great start. Very happy to have some of his cards.
We had Zlatan Ibrahimovic on the score sheet as well, returning from injury. Good to see. His goal he scored was he didn't have his shoelaces on at the time. Like they were fully off, and you see him jump up in the air, his laces going everywhere. But I was expecting a lot more from Lazio. They started the season very well. A few good players in this lineup, you know, like we have Brahim Diaz, who I think is going to have a tremendous season, along with Tonali. He's really going to come of age this season.
Speaking of Tonali, something that I saw today was a Nebula 101 from Euro Mosaic sell for like more than $1,000 US. I think it was 1,400 from memory. It was definitely over 1,000 though.
Yeah, look, I mean, I really love him, but he's not going to score the goals, you know. And if that's something that the hobby really looks for, it's like investing in a Jorginho or something like that. Like he'll get goals, and he scored his first goal for Milan last match day, but it's not going to be free kick, but it's not going to be on a consistent basis. So I love him. I think he's fantastic, but I don't know. I'd pick like a goat, like an Iniesta or a Xavi or something first before I get Tonali, as much as it pains me to say. Yeah,
especially at that price too. It is a 1-on-1, I guess, but 1,400 US, I could probably make some different plays there, to be honest.
There's definitely a lot more you could buy. Kessie, Tomori's having a good season so far. Look, I'm very impressed with this lineup, and Diaz is a sneaky play as well.
Yeah. Cosmic just asked in the chat if you want to get it up. What's Vlahovic's true RC?
Okay, so his true RC would be a sticker. He didn't have a card in his rookie year, so he's got a sticker in his. Might as well just bring it up, shouldn't I?
Is it Calciatore or no?
I think it is a Calciatore sticker.
Yeah.
Let me bring it up.
I wonder if there's any graded ones.
I have seen them in SGC slabs.
Okay.
So none of these. That's the rookie ticket. If you're going to go for that, I would skip all this stuff. You know what shits me about Australian eBay? You really need to make sure that you are going worldwide because you don't get anything otherwise. So that's a 10 in an SGC slab. Not bad. $375. Bloody hell. So these are the ones I wanted to look at. And these are terrible photos of them. I'll see if I can find another one. There we go. So this sticker here, this was from the 18-19 year, right? Now that is in his Fiorentina kit. All right. So if you were looking for a sticker in his club kit, you would go for probably that one there. But as Cosmic's saying, there is a 365 sticker, and that is that one there. If you can see that, that's him in like Serbian kind of kit, right? And if you wanted like a true rookie, which is probably equivalent to like the Haaland sticker or the Mbappe, the Mbappe with the Florentine Jean one there. This is probably the equivalent for Vlahovic if you were to go for it. And this is on bids for €80 with 6 days left. So you can kind of get that. And his rookie club sticker as well. They're not too bad. I don't know about the condition being in these like little pockets, but you could look at that. But yeah, it's probably a good run through. And then obviously the rookie got the rookie tickets. But if you wanted like a true sticker, it'd probably be these ones here. They operate very similar to the Haalands, where you've got the blue backs. And you do have the pink backs as well, but they're the ones you would go for if you're looking for true. But that's again in his national team kit. Also, Roma Sassuolo. This was Mourinho's 1,000th game. Did you know that?
Yeah. How many meters did he run down that touchline as well, celebrating? Close to 1,000, you reckon?
He wanted to win this one. He definitely did want to win this one. And
oh man, that was so good. Seeing him get down that touchline was so good.
I posted it.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, Sorare scoring as well.
It was the 91st minute. 91st minute.
I haven't heard. He was correct me if I'm wrong. Was he sort of like a wonder kid sort of player coming up?
When he was playing at Milan, he was going to be the next coming. He was a big wonder kid and fell off a cliff. I think he went to where did he go to? Did he go to China or something for a little bit? That's probably why you hadn't heard from him for a bit.
He was on the bench.
Look,
and then he was in France as well for a little bit, wasn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
Frustrating. How old is he now though? He wouldn't be pretty. He still wouldn't be that old.
I think he'd be in his 30s, probably 31 or something. 30, yeah.
You reckon?
I think so.
His name does he get?
Yeah, I've clicked him.
92.
Oh, 28. Still 28. That's actually surprised me because I feel like he's been around forever.
Yeah, so do I. I swear I was like 10 years old and he was well, that makes sense. If you used to.
Mate, I'll tell you what, Mourinho's really, really loving being in Serie A again. In all honesty, like he just, you can just tell he's got this smile on his face at all times. He seems happy. You see him eating pizza and loving life, and it's good to see, man. It's good to see.
It is good to see
a happy Mourinho.
Of course, you don't want to see him shitty and ripping into everyone. It's just not good.
Roma's a team that I'm going to be looking a lot at. My boy Zaniolo's there, and Tammy Abraham. And City said, back for a bit. How are you guys feeling about Tammy Abraham in Italy?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. I just want to see him get minutes because at Chelsea this season, as I believe CD Steve was a Chelsea supporter as well from what he said the other day. Yeah, I just want to see him get minutes, man, to be honest. And he's gonna play a lot of games in Italy. He's gonna get some good experience. Like you saw what happened with Lukaku when he left the Prem, went to Italy. He's come back a much better player. So hopefully, I'm not saying Tammy Abraham's a bad player, but you know, I always thought Tammy Abraham had potential, and just to see him get minutes, yeah, it'll be good for him. Definitely good for him.
He's all over the pitch. He's got a lot of freedom. Mourinho's definitely given him a lot of license to roam in Rome, and and you've got Zaniolo and that behind him. I think he's got a really good support system. So yeah, it's great to see. We'll move over to La Liga. We'll fly through these ones. Levante won. All with Rayo, Athletic Club 2-0 over Mallorca. Atletico Madrid, I believe, left it late in this game. 99th minute by Thomas Lemar to get the win over Espanyol.
I didn't see that one. What was it, 90?
99th.
God, very late.
A lot of extra time added to that game. And again, João Felix not starting.
Did he come off the bench?
He did come off the bench. He did. But it'd be interesting to see the stats. Fairly even.
Yeah.
A lot more in terms of passes for Atletico. I don't understand how the passes work. You have about 200 more passes, but only 5% more possessions. A bit strange. Valencia's having a cracking season so far. 4-1 over Osasuna. Real Sociedad as well is probably my team of this year. I'm really liking a lot of their players. Isak, Oyarzabal as well, who had 2 goals in this game. The boy that I spoke about last week didn't start in this game. It looked like he might have been on the bench. I can't even find him. He wasn't even on the bench. He must have been injured. It makes me worry a little bit because I bought him in the So Rare team, so I don't know what happened there.
Oh, no. Maybe that's why you got him cheap.
Maybe that's why, but it's okay. It's all right. They're tree growers. They're tree growers. It's a long term. It's a long term play. And then Real Madrid 5-2 over Celta Vigo. So we've obviously got Benzema with 3 goals, Vinicius, who I believe you're going to talk about a little bit later, with the goal as well as Eduardo Camavinga in his first game for Real Madrid, scoring in the 72nd minute.
Yeah, Camavinga goal. It didn't take him long. I think he came on in the 65th minute or something like that, and he scored in the 72nd. You know, it wasn't the most amazing goal in the world, but you'll still take it on debut. Look, I don't know how he's going to go this season, how much he's going to play and stuff like that, but if he's scoring goals and playing well, why wouldn't you have him in there? Because that, to be honest, that midfield there, Valverde, Modric, Casemiro, he's going to learn a lot from them. Is he going to start over them right now? That's a different question. But I do like Camavinga long term, especially in the system he's in now with these great players and these great midfielders. Benzema scoring a hat-trick again. The bloke's he's so I just reckon he's so underrated. Like, even going back to early 2010s when he came to Madrid and stuff like that, like he's so good. He's just a consistent goal scorer, and I feel like he does, especially in the hobby. I feel like he doesn't get enough love, personally. And Vinicius, another goal. I think he's had 4 in 4 now. Some of it looks like people are starting to take notice as well, because I saw some cards I had on my watch list today go for quite the price. So I might talk a little bit about that later.
Perfect. We'll leave that for that section. And then Elche 1 over Getafe and Real Betis 2-1 over Granada. Moving right along to the Bundesliga, there's probably 2 games every week that we look at. There's obviously Dortmund's games and Bayern Munich's games. And the Dortmund game was quite an interesting one. 2 goals by Mr. Haaland himself, especially the winner. There's your boy, Patrick Schick, got on the score sheet. And my sneaky play. Well, I mean, you mentioned it before. That's why he's your boy. And Wirtz.
No, I didn't mention Piatek.
Didn't you go Schick? Piatek, sorry. I always mix them up.
They have a similar sort of exit from the league, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It wasn't ceremonious, that's for sure.
No.
So look, I mean, I think Dortmund always are leaking goals this season. They can't seem to, clog the holes at the back. They copped it early. It was interesting when Haaland got this goal, the amount of celebration that they had. It was interesting. Like they were throwing beers at the players, and Bellingham picked one up and had a sit. I think there was a bit of questions about whether he was old enough, but Americans, just so you guys know, you're in Europe and even in Australia, you can drink under 21. So he was okay at 18 to have a sip of beer on the field. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this game because it was on while watching the stream, and Saucy was sort of giving us little updates because he had I think he had 3 screens going at his house watching games. But yeah, like you're saying, leaking goals again, Dortmund. The penalty, from what I remember, because I saw the penalty for this, the penalty was very soft. So did they get off the hook here? Maybe a little bit. But again, was it last week as well? They won right at the end, 92nd minute. Was that last week? The week before?
I think so. I think it was last week. Yeah.
I was leaving it very late. These aren't convincing wins by any stretch. So yeah, I'm not too sure about Dortmund this season.
Yeah, and obviously Bellingham's getting linked a lot to Liverpool this.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, a lot of money as well.
He's going to be their top target this summer.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, actually, it might have even been in January. I just heard that he was their top target, which is interesting. They're gonna if it's in January, they're gonna pay big money for him. And look, to be honest, even if they buy him next summer, they're still gonna pay big money either way. So
yeah. I would like to see that Japan. Japan Sports Cards in the chat, hoping for a Tops Now card of Bellingham drinking the beer. Absolutely, I would love to see that.
Of Haaland and him, of Haaland celebrating, but I don't know if they were mock-ups or not, or the actual have been released. I'm not too sure. I haven't looked.
Great. Speaking of strikers who don't get the love, Lewandowski on the score sheet again. Leroy Sané, Eric Maxim, and Jamal Musiala gets on the score sheet again. Mate, incredible player. Like I can't speak highly enough of him, to be honest.
It's interesting. We've got 2 names on the score sheet there. We've got Musiala that's sort of on his way up as the hobby sort of picks him up and sees what he's about. And then the one going sort of the other way in Sané, where Sané was so big in the hobby for one stage. I remember his cards were so expensive. And now from the last time I checked, they were quite cheap in comparison. And a lot of that's to do with the overall market obviously dipping quite a bit from that boom we had last year. But in terms of performances,
see, Sané starts. Yeah, Sané's starting. Musiala's not.
Yeah,
Musiala's 18, but Sané's not.
Is Sané even that much older? How old is Sané?
He's not that much older. I wouldn't have thought. It's just.
I mean, this whole age thing, the whole age thing, the hobby, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. If basically, if you're 23, you're washed. That's the way these prices are going.
It's legit getting like that. And
96. So he's what, 25?
25. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look. Let's touch on it after we go through the Champions League. Let's make that a little bit of something that we go through because I think it's an important topic. Let's go through it. anything else from the Bundesliga you want to touch on, or happy to move on to the Champions League?
No, we can move on.
Cool.
All good.
So we've got games tomorrow morning. I'm going to potentially have to sleep in another room to get up at 5 a.m. because the missus doesn't like me waking up the baby who sleeps in our room as well. So I might have to take that just to watch Juventus Malmo, which I don't know if it's the best decisions, but
Malmo away. What a trip that one is.
Yeah.
Where is Malmo? It might seem very rude, but where is Malmo? I actually don't know.
It's Sweden, and it's actually Zlatan Ibrahimovic's first club.
Oh, right. Okay. That is a bit rude then, I guess.
It is a bit rude. Mate, show some respect.
Sorry. Japan Sports Cards is hoping for some Ajax talk. Let's see.
Yeah, we're not going to get that far into the leagues, unfortunately. I think we're going to get into the hobby. So we stop at Bundesliga. We could go into
League didn't even get run today, did it?
Did you want it to? I mean, we can bring it up.
It's all right. It's all right.
I mean, they're the fifth best league in the world, mate. Like, I don't know why we're speaking about it.
Sixth best league in the world.
How far do we go with this show? You know what I mean? We're 45 minutes in, and we're still, haven't even got to the hobby.
It's a 3-hour-long show if we start reviewing the sixth best league in the world.
Absolutely. So let's give some picks quickly. We don't have to give scores. Ajax in the Champions League. All right, we'll go through that. So Sevilla, Salzburg, Young Boys, Man United, Lille, and Wolves, Villarreal, Atalanta, Chelsea, Zenit, Malmo, Juventus, Barcelona, Bayern, Dynamo Kiev, Benfica, Besiktas, and Dortmund, Sheriff, Shakhtar Donetsk, Inter, Real, Atletico Madrid, Porto. And let's stop there for now. Give us your picks, Luki, so far.
All right. Salzburg, Sevilla. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw. It'll be interesting to see Adeyemi. There's going to be probably a lot of people in the hobby are being, he's been getting quite a bump recently in his prices. So it'll be a good opportunity for people to see him play.
They're all listening to you, mate. They're all listening to the Soccer Card Collective and jumped on your bandwagon.
No, to be honest, they were going up before I even realised. So I'm just putting out the news. I'm not giving any tips, but I reckon United beat Young Boys. I reckon Wolfsburg get up against Lille. Atalanta and Villarreal draw. Chelsea beat Zenit. I'm going to say Malmo and Juventus draw.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts.
I'm going to actually, are the South American players back for this game?
Good question. I think they revealed the lineup, not the lineup, the team. So I'm wondering if that is in there. No, it's not in there. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. In news. Let me have a look.
Yeah, it might be in news.
We'll check that out a little bit later. Keep going.
Barca, Bayern. Bayern's going to win that one. Benfica, Kiev, I don't know, so it's going to be a draw. Dortmund, Besiktas. I'm going to say Dortmund win this one. Shakhtar beat Sheriff. This is probably the game I'm most, you got Barca, Bayern there, with all due respect to that. I reckon Real and Inter is going to be a very good game. I reckon it's going to be a draw, but it's going to be an interesting game. Atletico beat Porto. Are we going to keep going or do we stop there?
Keep going. Why not?
I'll keep going. PSG beat Club Brugge. Milan, Liverpool is going to be a big game too. I reckon Liverpool's going to win it though, being at home. City will beat Leipzig and Ajax will beat Leipzig for Japan Sports Cards. Positive wants every league done. Every league in the world, that is. Even the A-League?
I'm not reviewing the A-League, mate. They got to do the A-League. they got to do more to win my respect. I'm very much similar to you in terms of my picks. I think that Inter Real Madrid will be a draw. I think PSG should obviously clean up Club Brugge. Liverpool Milan, I'm picking that a draw.
Draw?
I think that Yeah, I think that will be a lot more even game than what people would usually think. Bayern Barcelona.
Away from home at Anfield, I don't know how Milan will go. I feel like it'll be a good game, but I just don't see Milan winning. I don't know, personally.
I think they'll park the bus, mate. I think that's essentially they'll make it very difficult for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I think Liverpool, in my opinion, find it very difficult when things don't necessarily go their way. I feel like they get a little bit frustrated. So that's what I'm banking on. But look, it could go either way. I don't think Milan will win it. What else have we got? Bayern, Barcelona. I think Bayern win. Barcelona haven't really impressed me all that much. They've obviously got the young kids, so will remain to be seen over the long term. And Juventus, I just had a look. Dybala is in the squad, as well as Danilo, Cuadrado, and Alexandra as well. So
I might change my tone then. Yeah, I'll say Juventus win. I'm going to change my tone there.
That's what I like to see, mate. That's what I like to see. Good stuff. All right, cool. That's a wrap of the Champions League in lead up. We'll see how good we are with our predictions when we get the results next week. Now, we're obviously talking about before, and I felt like it's worth, and we make the rules here anyway. I thought it's worth talking about a little bit more. We're talking about Sane and Musiala and their age differences, one being 18, one being 25.
Before you go, Positive reckons Liverpool's going to win 4-0.
I don't know about 4-0, mate.
He must be a Liverpool supporter. I want him to confirm that in the chat if he can.
Positive, what are we putting on it, mate? You tell me.
A Vlahovic rookie.
I'll take Liverpool plus 4.5, and you take the under, or I'll take the under, you take the over. So yeah, I mean, look, two age gaps. One was the darling of the hobby at one stage and has dropped off a cliff, but still fairly young. What's your thoughts with that, and what could potentially be the reason for it?
To be honest, I'm not. I know he was injured at parts last season, but I don't know. I don't understand why these guys in like the maybe 22 to 24 age gap, like there's just such a big difference between the guys that are 18 and 19. I guess it sort of seems like, I think we talked about it during the stream. It seems like if you haven't won a major trophy, like Mbappe, for example, if you're not emulating his sort of run, it seems like people don't sort of appreciate what's going on. I don't know. These are very raw thoughts here because I haven't put a whole lot of thought into why, but I don't know. Like you see players like Frankie de Jong. I know Dom is big on him. His cards are so like cheap in comparison to say Musiala. Obviously, he's playing very well at the moment. Even Adeyemi, for example, he's playing still at Salzburg, scoring goals. What can he do on the Champions League stage? People are paying, $60+ US for his top sapphire at the moment. I don't know. I feel like it's interesting that the way that ages are sort of perceived in the soccer hobby compared to maybe other more mature markets like basketball and stuff like that. What do you reckon? Do you have any thoughts on why? Or
look, you mentioned the basketball market, and I think it might play into it a little bit when we talk about players coming into the league in a draft type format, and coming into the league at 21-ish, right? Sometimes, and they're coming in from a draft. It's not a direct replica of what happens in soccer, right? They can potentially come in quite early, but they can flame out a lot earlier in soccer, I've noticed as well. Or players may take longer to mature, and they can still become great players even though they haven't, won everything like you said at age 22, right? So I feel like it is a lot of the people who are used to the draft type system coming in and them really valuing the RC logo and the rookies that are available now, like you said, Adeyemi, Doku's another one who crazy prices, and not warranted. Especially if you kind of can project out his ceiling compared to some 24, 25-year-olds who are probably better than he'll ever be, in my opinion, right? So I think it's got a lot to do with the RC logo. And I think, like you said, the soccer market is very immature in comparison to other markets. And it remains to be seen if those prices will hold up when they're not the rookies anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're not the chase cards out of the sets. We're 2 years down, then they are the 21-year-olds. And what happens, you know? But again, that's not to say that they're going to flame out because they haven't won anything. And it doesn't mean that they're going to be brilliant because they haven't either. You know what I mean? Like it's so difficult. Like players can mature a lot later, you know, and you see that a lot in soccer. And to write someone off because they're not 18 and starting 11 is so unfair.
Oh, I agree, definitely. And I see it the same way as maybe the defenders, you know, your defenders versus attackers. Like you said before, Tonali was your example. In the market right now, people who don't score goals and get assists and stuff like that aren't maybe as valuable as someone who, say, scores goals, even though Tonali is just as important as what a striker is, maybe sometimes possibly even more important than what your striker is. So it's just interesting to see how it sort of develops and stuff like that. I don't know, me personally, I've taken sort of a little bit of a risk on that, buying a few defenders I like, especially the fullbacks, because it's a position I really like watching. Especially the way that fullbacks these days are, you know, probably more attacking in sort of that wing back position, getting up and down the line compared to the past. So that's a sort of something I'm maybe taking a gamble on, I guess. But at the same time, like I like the players because I like watching them play and stuff like that. Players like, you know, Reece James is an example. He plays for my team, but I just really enjoy watching him play in that position as well.
And you took the words pretty much out of my mouth, right? Like I bought up big at Achraf Hakimi, who is traditionally a right back, right? But going forward at Milan, the amount he gets involved in attacks is incredible. His speed and ability to influence play. He's not scoring every week, but he's involved and he's dangerous every week, right? Even in that right back position, but simply because they see the B in the RB as opposed to, you know, right wing or something like that. He gets maligned for it. And like you say, the modern players, they're pretty much playing that type of position. You know, they're playing up top, overlapping all the time. But I guess I'm really worried about soccer becoming a sport where we're replicating the NFL, where it's just purely the quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a great point.
You know?
I've never thought of it like that.
That's what I worry about. Like, is it just going to be the strikers? You know, and everyone else doesn't matter. Like, to me, when I was watching Darrelle Revis, you know, at New York Jets, I used to play cornerback, and I thought he was my god, right? And even like Chado Jacinco and like all those wide receivers, I thought they were brilliant. But they, like the Odell Beckham cards, you can still get relatively good price. You know, his rookies. But he's such an electric player on the pitch. But we're just gravitating towards quarterbacks. I understand they're an incredible role, but we're not focusing anywhere else. And I'm worried that we're seeing that in soccer.
Isn't, like, just talking about NFL here, isn't the maybe to sort of put it into context of, say, soccer, for example, this is just something like, I don't know a lot about NFL, to be honest. I'm going to put it out there. That's why I don't really talk about it. Isn't the person who's catching the ball is just as important as the person who's throwing it?
Well,
that's the way I'd see it. No?
Look, at the end of the day, the wide receiver will need to catch the ball and cross the line in order for a touchdown to happen. Okay?
Yeah.
As good as the quarterback is, if they put it in the wide receiver's hands and he doesn't catch it, it's no good to anyone. He's not getting the touchdown stat either, you know?
Yeah.
So in that respect, yes.
More integral, I guess. But because if you're throwing to nothing, well then, yeah, I get what you mean.
He's more integral in that he can figure out plays on the fly and adjust movement and do things that can really split an opposition apart. But at the end of the day, should wide receivers be so far apart from the quarterbacks, like you're saying? They need to get the touchdowns too. They're important. So bringing it back to soccer, you know, like the strikers aren't going to do anything. They're not going to be able to score if you can't get in the ball, right? Like you said, Osimhen, he's going to be on an island with 3 players hanging off him all game, not being able to do anything if you don't have players around him, like, you know, making movements and passing the ball. Like, it's just, I don't know.
That's what I mean. I feel like it's something that people maybe need to warm up to a bit more. And we've seen it on occasions, though. I've got to say, like, Mason Mount, yeah, he's more of an attacking player, I guess. Grealish, I'm just thinking of some names off the top of my head. Grealish is more of an attacking player, but then we've seen, say, Donnarumma, for example, have that great performance at the Euros, and his cards go up, and the market reacts to it. So I sort of see it in both lights, I guess, and even some like Casillas, like autos and stuff like that too. They're actually not as cheap as what you think. Even some Cannavaro autos I've seen too. They go okay for like maybe for what he achieves and stuff, maybe not, but for his position as a defender. I'd say they're not exactly cheap.
Positive saying wide receivers and right backs have been going up. If that's the case, then it's good to see.
Running back?
Running back, sorry. Running back or right back.
Yeah.
Oh, running back. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's great to see. And that is a more mature market, so maybe the thing is, but you touched on Donnarumma, like he obviously got player of the tournament, so that was the driver. But, you know, he could make 5 saves, unbelievable saves in a game, right? Yeah. It's not a stat, you know, it's not something that people record, okay? Yeah. They don't really give a shit. Whereas, you know, Haaland could do nothing all game and do a tap in and it goes Haaland goal, massive. Let's keep the fire burning. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that unfortunately cannot be avoided.
Yeah. I was going to say something on that point, and now I've lost it.
Donnarumma could save 5 goals and cop 1, and that's it. He's a loser.
Is that to the point of people aren't actually watching the games? Like they say, you know, checking the scores.
Absolutely, man.
Like when there's so many games and stuff on, it's hard to watch every single game and stuff like that. But I guess if you're buying players' cards and stuff, you should probably be doing that. Especially if you're buying cards to possibly flip to make money, you should definitely be doing that.
Look, I mean, Virgil Van Dyke gets a little bit of love in the hobby, but not much more in terms of defenders. And I think it is still a lot of collectors still not watching games, and I think it's a lot of people who are new to the sport, and you know, you're seeing that with obviously. So I lost my train of thought.
I do it all the time. Don't worry.
look. Yeah, you're just seeing it. You see it left, right, and center at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's just obviously Americans coming into the hobby. We're seeing that in F1. That was the point I was going to say. Look, you know, you're definitely seeing that. No one's watching a 2-hour race, but everyone seems to be buying. It's an interesting play. But we'll see. Defense gets no love in NFL. You PC him. I assume you're talking about Van Dyke.
Van Dyke,
mate, he's got
he's a Liverpool supporter, as he said
Liverpool
before.
Supporter. There you go. I saw a fantastic auto in the Inception set. It's just a brilliant image of Van Dyke. I think that's a really nice card.
Pretty good, actually. We had it in our tier list on Crunch Time last week. If you haven't checked out our Crunch Time episode last week, we tiered the 2021 soccer products into a few different categories. It was actually pretty fun. We all actually enjoyed doing that. But yeah, Inception, we had, I can't remember where we had it, but we had it on there, and we all agreed that the cards actually look pretty cool.
Give us a little bit of snippet from that set. Like, what were the top few products of for soccer?
The long-term one, I think it might have been the only long-term one, to be honest. Like, was the Top Sapphire set, because from what I can speak for myself, I reckon in maybe the long term, if some of these players, like we'll say Musiala, who's in this set as an RC, I think the Top Sapphire card will be like the flagship card that people will want to go, people will look for, if they look back at him as a great. I feel like that'd be a similar card to, say, the Ronaldo Mega Cracks 03, or whatever the Messi one is, because I can't remember off the top of my head. And it'll be like sort of the rookie card to have. I feel like Top Sapphire is that. And then I think in the next section, which was I can't remember what the categories were, but like the next category down was the Topps Chrome set, because once those Sapphire ones get sort of out of reach for certain collectors, they're going to look for the next best thing, which would be the Topps Chrome, because it's the same card, it's just a different finish. So that was those two. We had Mosaic Euro. Was a little bit of it was an odd one. We didn't have it in the like sell now, we had sell now or rip, which was the same column. We sort of had it half in rip and half in hold, just because of, I've said it before, the amount of art. Look, we know what the RC card, the RC logo does for a card, and there's so many cards in that still. There's a number of players that are, good quality players that have an RC in that Euro Mosaic set, that don't in other products. So that's why it was a hold, but then it was also a rip because it's at such a good price at the moment. You can get blasters for the same price on the resale market as they are in in retail stores. Hobby boxes are under 200 US. The H2 products have guaranteed autos in it as well. They're pretty cheap. So that's why we thought, it can't get much cheap. That's what I reckon. Like, it can't get much cheaper than what it is now. And there's some great players you can hit in there.
Did you guys talk about the Donruss set, the 18-19 Donruss set?
Nah, we just did this year, just 2021. Okay. Yeah, EPL Prism was in there too. I think we had that in the RIP section. The only sell ones we had, like sell, was Syria and La Liga Mosaic. Both of them were in sell, and there was one more as well. I can't think of the top of my head. And the other one that was this is an interesting one, because to be honest, I sort of wrote it off as I didn't really like it because I didn't like the design. But the Topps Museum set was a one we had in the Hold Has Potential section, because like there's Camavinga RPAs in there, there's Trincao RPAs in there. There's a few players who have their their RPA in that, which I think if you look in the long term, if those players play out, they're going to be sort of your cards to buy. And that super high end card will be those. So I thought that was an interesting one. And to be honest, on the show, like I changed my mind after the show, like talking to the other boys about it. I actually changed my mind after that. I sort of warmed up to it a little bit more because I'm like, that's a great memorabilia piece there at Topps Museum. I think the boxes are I think from memory they were 300 US, maybe around that.
I can't remember where we got them from for Carnival breaks, but we broke them recently. They're brilliant cards in hand.
Yeah,
they're really, really nice.
I think someone got Trincao, didn't they?
Trincao, yep.
Yeah, because that's where I saw it, and I actually went to go find one for myself.
It's a nice looking card. You should have made an offer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know. I probably should have.
It's saucy. What did you say about Chronicles?
I can't remember, to be honest. I think we had it in RIP, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. Sorry.
Chronicles last season was brilliant. This season, I feel like they've completely fucked it. There's just so many different parallels and everything. Yeah. There's cards to 500. Like, if you're going to do cards to 500, what's the point? I really don't understand. To me, the number is insignificant if you're going to do it to 500. You might as well be 1,000, right? Like, there are cards that I see all the bloody time, all the time. The amount of times I've seen, oh man, who is it? Kandreva, right? I've seen him come up that many times. It's because there's 300 of his bloody triple patch. They've absolutely demolished that set too many parallels, like just gone nuts. There are little nice things in it, like the tickets are really, really good.
Tickets are good.
And obviously you'd have the opportunity of getting cards that are decent, but man, they're fucking few and far between. You know what I mean? They're few and far between. You can still get Maradona, you can still get that, but I wouldn't do it. But I disagree with Senator Mosaic. I'd probably rip that at that price at the prices they are now. You have the opportunity to get Ronaldo. You can even get. I think you can even get Maradona autos and stuff like that in there.
Yeah, there's Maradona autos. I don't think Ronaldo's in Syria. I don't think Ronaldo's in Syria. I think he's
not.
I think he's in the Liga as a. Oh no, I think he might be in both. No, you might be right.
I thought he was.
I think you're right, actually. Yeah, because I know he's in the Liga as a Real Madrid auto. That one looks pretty cool.
I mean, at these prices, I might rip. So I'll disagree with you guys, but anyway, that's okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what I think about Mosaic? It was a majority rules.
You're a big fan. You're a big fan, and they are really nice. I just feel like they make a lot of them. They might overpopulate. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
What was your player? It was obviously Vinicius. What's his card to check out?
Yeah, mine was Vinicius. Just on a bit of a stats thing, he's had 4 goals, 4 games this season. We know what happened to his cards last season when he was in the Champions League. He had a hat trick against Liverpool. His cards went from about $30 for an Optic PSA 9 over 100. So yeah, he's playing in Madrid. Big team, big name. He's still young as well. How old is he? I've forgotten, but
I feel like he's been there for a while. But yeah, you're right. He's
been there for a while, but he's 21. He's 21 still.
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, to get a good amount of experience, if you want to go Optic, and then go completed, because I can't remember what they finished for. There was a BGS 9 out of 99 that I was watching, and then it went over the $100 mark, and I was like, nah, can't be bothered today. So
I'm not feeling it.
Nah, I'm like, nah, not that much. I'm sorry, Vinicius.
Ooh, that is very nice. What did that go for? Fucking
the Black Velocity, they're very nice cards from that set. I wanted to get the Insigne and Mertens ones, but 2 of them, there's one of each graded at PSA. I don't know who has them. Maybe one day I'll be able to pick it up. Like you got an 8 there for $16.95, 228 for an out of 149, Hollows 85.
Mate, that is a great pickup. $16 for a PSA 9 Optic.
PSA 8.
PSA 8. Okay.
8, yeah.
Right. Still, $16, mate. Like, how much does it cost to grade these days?
It's like over 100, isn't it?
That's what I mean.
Look at the Optic Hollow there. 790 Australian.
Yeah.
Optic base.
PSA 10.
Yeah, 790. I don't know. I'm not paying $800 for a Vinicius personally. But hey, if that's what you're into, buy it now. There's that BGS 9 there. I wonder what the one today went for. Because if that one there selling for 746 best offer.
I'll have to look at the 130 point.
Yeah. That's what I would. But yeah, that was my I wouldn't buy him right now because, he's in good form. Especially if you like him for a bit of a long time, even for a flip, maybe for later in the Champions League. I wouldn't be buying him now. Just hold on a little bit. See how Madrid plays out and see how he plays out because he might just be in a good run of form. But he's a player that I think is doing well at the moment and deserved a bit of recognition in our player spotlight or whatever we're going to call this.
Yeah, we still need to come up with a name, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
My player is a player that I spoke about in our in the live not that long ago. I came in the back end of the Manchester United game. Florian Wirtz. The reason why I started looking at him is his game against Dortmund, where he scored an absolute belter toe poke. He's 18 years old. The toe poke was outside, absolutely almost ripped off the net. Incredible. And I think I saw Fabrizio Romano said, Florian Wirtz, watch this player. And I started watching him, started having a little bit of a look of his highlights and the like. And I was blown away about this guy's potential. So when Fabrizio speaks, I listen, right? So I started checking him out. Unfortunately, his rookie cards are these ones that we're looking at right now because he's a rookie. He's starting a lot of games, and the issue is he doesn't have any RC logos on any of these. This is probably the one I would probably look at. I was looking at a refractor recently. That's the Sapphire Bundesliga, which is going for $100. Don't know if I'd pay that, but Sapphire does demand a premium. You're getting a lot of SGC slabs for him.
I was going to say that was going to be my next question. Would you buy him right now? Like, do you think now's the time to buy him, or do you think maybe in a few months' time, or what do you reckon?
I think it's a risk. I think it's a risk to wait because I don't know if he's as known as what he could potentially be. It's a little bit different to Vinicius, whereas Vinicius, I feel like everybody kind of knows him. He's playing at Real Madrid, right? So he's already hit that point. He's already at Real Madrid, right? Yeah. And you kind of wait for the dips and flows and things like that. Whereas this could get away from you really quickly. So
I get you.
That's just one of the things I might put as a caveat on it. But definitely check him out. I think he's brilliant. Like I said, 18 years old, which, as we were speaking about before, the hobby loves. They're 18-year-olds and a brilliant player, I think, as well. So I'm keen to look at him. I'll maybe pick up a few of his refractors, but only for the right price, as you said. And I think they will come up if you're watching it close enough.
Yeah, definitely. I was just looking then, just because we know, I don't know if maybe Europa League's going to be, I reckon Europa League, this is my sort of hot take, I reckon Europa League performances are going to get maybe a little bit more attention from the hobby this year. I don't know why. It's just a feeling that I've got. And I just had a look then, and Leverkusen is in the Champions League, in the Europa League as well. Because, like, we know the attention that, we know that the attention that the Champions League sort of gets. So I don't know. I just got a feeling. It's not based on anything really. I reckon that Europa League might be a spot where people go to look for, maybe the next big guy to break out. And these performances in Europa League might get a bit more recognised than what they have in the past.
It's definitely. I like that league, and if you think about it logically. They're the mid-tier teams where the top teams kind of buy from, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like showcasing their talent against the other really good teams in the world. So that could be a sneaky play. Have a look at the Europa League, suss it out.
Yeah, and I don't mean like the teams that play in the middle of nowhere. You can watch those if you want. Up to you if you want to do that. But your teams like your Napolis and your Leverkusen, for example. Yeah. Like your teams, like your Napoli and your Leverkusen and those teams that maybe just missed out on Champions League qualification and like their players are up to scratch and could have, if some other results went their way, they definitely could have been playing Champions League. Maybe look at some of the players on their team and who's contributing to those performances.
I like it. I like that play. Very good. What I wanted to end the show on was what I've been looking at the moment, which is Sorare. Okay.
Yep.
Now,
Porto is back and the Liga has arrived.
Yes, absolutely, and that's the main reason why I've been giving it some renewed interest. So Vincent is obviously, Cardhour is obviously a very big advocate for.
He's the guy for Sorare. I'm calling.
He's the guy from Sorare, absolutely.
He's the guy for Sorare. I'm going to him if I have any questions, and you, Dan, of course.
Oh man, if you want to have answers to questions that live in the cheap and reasonably priced, come to me. If you want to blow yourself out of the water, then speak to Vincent.
If you're a baller and if you're a baller, go see Vincent. That's basically what I got out of that.
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much. I'm here, bread and water, and he's there eating caviar. That's pretty much how it works.
I like it. I like it.
But, you know, there's recently been an opportunity I've found with La Liga, we're seeing in front of you right now. Just got released on Sorare for the first time. A lot of marketing has come into it. And what has been starting to be released are these limited cards, right? So limited cards just got released. So just as a little bit of a background of how it works is you have, I believe, ultimate cards, I think it is, and then you have ultra rare. I'm butchering the names at the moment, but basically you're looking at 1 of 1s, 1 of 10s, and 1 of 100s when you look at those ones, right? And they allow you to get into the more premium type tournaments. And unfortunately, because of the rise in Sorare and the like, and people drawing attention to these, they've pretty much become very, very expensive. Like you see here on the left-hand side, Unzmon, who plays for, who's that team? Is that Leipzig? Right?
Zenit, isn't it?
Zenit, sorry. I don't really know him all that well, right? His 16 of 100 is going for 0.362 ETH, which is 1,000 euros. Okay. Now,
which is how many Australian? Almost 2,000?
Almost 2,000, yeah, about 1.6, 1,600, right? So, you know, for me as a collector, as somebody who understands the sport, even though I do understand that there is utility in these players that aren't necessarily playing in the top leagues, I can't justify paying $1,600 for an Azmoon, and this is on bids. It's still got a day and 18 minutes to go, right? So still a lot to run on that potentially. So you can see how these prices are going out of control. Now, there has been a new release, which is these limited cards, which is the yellow. They are of 1,000, okay? Now, with La Liga entering, those are being minted. And the way that they're being minted is it goes on bids, right, straight off the bat, and you're pretty much buying them off Sorare, and that's how they're being minted. So they're going on bids, and you have the opportunity to get in at like last minute. So what I've been doing is I go market, new card auctions, I go cards, and then I make sure it's set to ending soon, okay? And I'm trying to look this Gravenberg. 2 seconds left, just went for 2,232 euros, right?
Wow. But
if you have a look at these yellow ones, they're going for a lot less, like 22 euros, 11 euros, 130. So I wouldn't necessarily look at the lower tier players for this. I'd look at some of the higher tier.
Yeah. And is it just for La Liga right now you're talking, or are you talking all?
I'm specifically talking La Liga right now because they're not minting new cards in the other leagues yet, right? Okay. It's purely because basically we're talking about 1,000 of that particular player progressively going on the market, going on bids, okay? And when you put that bid supply straight off the bat, you have the opportunity, like there's going to be 1,000 auctions of a particular player. You have the opportunity to pick up players at very, very cheap prices, particularly when you get them like Australian time zone and stuff like that. You have a lot of opportunity. Now, when they go into the secondary market, it's a different story, right? But you have the opportunity to get in right now, and then that's what I feel. So if we change this league to La Liga, if I can, I can't find it for some reason. I'm going to have to play around with a bit.
When you get a break, I've got some stats on that Usman guy.
Yeah, go tell me.
They're going to justify the prices. So this season he scored, in the Russian Premier League, he scored 5 goals in 7 games. Last season, 19 goals in 24 games. 19-20, 17 goals in 28. And 18-19, 9 goals in 12 games.
How old is he?
26, I believe. 26. He's born on the 1st of January.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Sorare, right? and I'll bring up my team. Might as well.
Yeah. So
you
find
have
someone in those really niche leagues. I reckon that might be because they score the same amount of points as what a Premier League striker would score. Yeah.
spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
So if you find a really niche league, that might be the play in this.
Yeah, but I mean, even the niche leagues are going for $1,000, $2,000 Australian dollars. People.
Where would you watch the Russian Premier League? I don't even know. Oh, for us anyway. Oh, I'm sure there's one website you can. I'm sure there's one website you can find it on.
Our trusty one. If you want to know, send us a DM because we can't really reveal it to you right now. But
you can space it out in the chat if you want, but it's going to take too long.
Yeah, so
sorry to cut you off.
No, it's the prime show. It has to get some airtime every time we have a chat. Now, maybe it's not so much La Liga, right? Maybe it's just the yellow cards, okay? And I just feel like there's so much opportunity. Like I've picked up Rodri for 11 euro.
That seems cheap.
Sis for €6. Barantea, who I spoke about last week, €100, which I felt was reasonable for a player of his stature. Matt Ryan had to get some Aussie love in there, and the keepers in Sorare are very, very difficult to get your hands on at good prices because there's limited amounts of it. And I just think that Matt Ryan's come back from injury. He could get a starting gig at Sociedad. So I felt like that was a great buy. Suso I bought for 19, Paulista for 54, and I got another keeper for 120. So look, even these prices are expensive, right? If you think about cards, but
I was just saying, I reckon this is a good budget team here, to be honest.
Thanks, man. Like I
reckon it sounds pretty good because some of the prizes I've seen on Sorare are ridiculous. So this team at these prizes, I reckon it's actually quite affordable and quite good.
So if you want to have a bit of a play, these yellow cards give you the ability to enter tournaments where you can still win ETH, right? Not the type of Ethereum that you can win if you had the other ones, but you still get, if you're not in the top however many to win Ethereum, you can still win other cards where you can then sell and then trade up and things like that. So I feel like this is a real opportunity for people who want to get into Sorare and enjoy fantasy and enjoy getting into NFTs with utility behind them, right? I think that's the most important thing. So I feel like if you're doing your research, you're getting on the bids. Most importantly, the bids are where you can potentially snipe and get some good opportunities. And La Liga, there's a lot going on to the market at the moment. I feel it's a sneaky play to get into, and I'm really like I haven't been able to create a team. It's been so long, right? That I've been on Sorare, and it all started with this guy here, Pietro Pellegrini, who is a player that I've been following for a long time. He went to France, hasn't been playing that well because of injuries and the like, and recently got signed by Milan. I got his number 2 of 1,000, the second they got minted of his. So I could have got the first one. Yeah, €90. Yeah, €90. And I felt like it was a reasonable price, Like the way I see this is I want to invest in Ethereum, right? But to me, just having it in Ethereum is boring as batshit, right? And this has the ability to, like, I'm buying it with Ethereum. I don't have the gas prices that some of the NFTs have. I can actually buy it with my credit card. So I'm literally, like, if I win the bid, I'm paid with my credit card. And then I can convert it into Ethereum later. So I'm, like, investing by proxy into Ethereum with these cards and investing in the player as well, which is, like, is a really, really good mix. And now that these limited cards have come on, I can actually create a team now, which is fantastic. And I've been buying up a little bit. I've been looking at it.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's something to be honest, the whole fantasy side of football, I don't love it. I like it for cards and stuff like that, I guess, because performances, raise prices and stuff like that. But to be honest, fantasy, I don't love. Like, I pick a team at the start of the year and I never change it. But I do like your investing sort of, saying investing in ETH there. because it's a strategic way to look at it too. It's a strategic way to earn ETH without just buying it when the market's down. And you can have a bit of fun with it with your football as well. We just had who was it? Positive said, how much is a top player? Give us a player positive. Who do you want us to look up?
Look, I mean, top players, if you want to pick them Mbappe's, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, okay? So here's the first one that comes up.
Is the what's the market looking like at the moment? Like sort of overall, do you know?
It's hot.
It's hot? Okay.
Now, it's hot because there are games on, right? So you got to remember that you get utility, you get benefit from games being played, right? Now, when there's off season, they don't really do much, these cards, right? So you traditionally would see a big drop.
Yeah.
And if you had bought these at the start of this season, or just maybe in March, towards the tail end of last season, it would be a lot cheaper for you. Okay. Yeah. And I think as well, if you buy a card from this season, you get a certain percentage, but then you lose that percentage the next year if it's not a card from that season. So people want to sell their cards towards the end.
Yeah.
Gives you good buying opportunities as well, right? But if you have a look at Zimbabwe, 10 of 10, trying to go for 142,000 euros. We've also got 7 of 10 for 220,000 euro.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. So, 20 of 10 goes for 42K. And you see that he's only got the reds. But you have a look here, and like, for instance, 7 months ago, 4,800 euro for this of 100, right? But obviously since then, they have increased dramatically. You know what I mean?
So how did that guy that got it for 4,000? So is the way that cards go onto the market for So Rare exactly the same as what they're doing with the Liga right now? Like, you don't pull them in packs or whatever. It's just they
originally
okay.
It'll go on bids and then it goes secondary market.
Okay, so there's no like packs or anything for this. You can buy bundles. I remember we looked at it last time, but there's no like packs. What are those layouts going for? Just out of curiosity.
So just before I move on, like, some people sell them on eBay and shit like that. And they transfer it to people, and also you can win cards by doing things in tournaments and stuff like that, right?
Right. Okay.
So you can also get cards like that. So there's a certain amount that's allocated to that as well, which obviously incentivizes you when it comes to playing in tournaments and the like. So at the end of the day, we've seen a big drop in NFTs. Haven't seen that drop here, and I think it ultimately comes down to utility, your ability to generate income and other cards as well. And I think you'll find Leal will be pricey as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, especially with those. I remember last time we looked at it, he wasn't too bad, but I reckon because he's played well, these are going to be up.
Okay, so probably around the 700 mark.
What's a unique one? What does that do?
So you see here, unique is like ultra rare. I don't know how many there are. There was like 1 or 2, right?
Okay.
But the main differences between unique, ultra rare, and rare is the percentage that you get on their performances. So if you have a look at the unique, it's a 46% uplift on on their performances points for that round. Obviously 25% for this one and 7% for this one here. So that's probably the main thing that you'd be looking at. But look, to be honest, 700 euro for an of 100, in all honesty, is actually cheap in So Rare, right? That's actually a really good price. So I looked at it, I was like, cool, that's actually a good buy. But
Wow.
At the end of the day, you're paying over $1,000 for that. It's hard to stomach. It's very hard to stomach.
Yeah, definitely. What are his? Does he have just like gold ones out of 1,000 or not?
And that's a thing, right? And that's why I was mentioning La Liga before, because at this stage, they do not have limited cards for like Sorare and Ligue 1 and stuff like that. So, that's why you may
such a premium.
You may be looking at La Liga. Not to say that they won't release ones for the other leagues, but that's why there's the opportunity in La Liga. That's why I've been buying up there. So I mean, it's a sneaky one. It's a sneaky one.
Positive said this has taken fantasy football to a whole new level. You're not wrong.
I wish that I got on this a long time ago, and I think Saucy could have got onto it before anyone that I know. One of those things, mate. One of those things. At the end of the day, it's so cool in that we're obviously card collectors and we're investing in players a lot of the time. Here, you are doing that, and you're also generating income. You have the ability to buy and sell these quite easily without having to package up and wait for it to get to your house and do all that stuff. You put it on the marketplace and sell it off instantly and get the money in your account. So it's something that I'm really, really looking at. I picked up a lot of those cards, and I've already got offers for it. Like somebody has tracked me down and just given me an offer. I haven't even got it on the market. So like the Rodri card, like he's already wants to give me 3 times what I bought it for.
Oh wow!
I only bought it for 15 euros, so it's not like it's a huge uplift, but it's just phenomenal how it all works. Like, I mean, look, because you can see here, I can track down cards that are not necessarily on the market, right?
Yeah.
But I can just go to this guy and so this guy here, he won it. He won this as a game reward, right?
Okay.
Phantoms won as a game reward. I can literally go into that one and make him an offer.
Yeah.
Well, I can also make him an offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I can trade cards. You know?
Yeah. That's the thing about the blockchain. Like everything's visible.
Spot on. Look, you got the card. See the card on the blockchain. Hey, I tell you what. I'm seeing a lot of good things about Sorare that I didn't potentially see before. And fantasy football is so huge in America, and there have been some NFT projects for NFL and NBA start to come out in the fantasy space.
Was there one for NBA? Was there? I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, but it's very primitive, and I think it doesn't even have a license to their.
Oh, right, okay.
Maybe you know what I mean? It's like it's a bit like Pro Evolution, you know, that they don't have the rights to everything. But yeah, it's a sneaky look.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at in the hobby. What are you looking at? Anything in particular? Are you buying up anything? What's your thoughts for the end?
Not really right now, to be honest. I'm sort of just because it's it's a pretty hot time for the soccer card market, and you can see on Sorare as well. It's a similar sort of thing. Start of the season, you're starting to see performances go well, not so well. I'm sort of just observing at the moment and seeing sort of what's going on. I bought some more Euro Mosaic as I usually do. Just some boxes this time just because I saw them for a good price. And actually, I think I talked about it last week. Saw them for a good price on StockX, put a bid in. So I was like, yeah, why not? But yeah, in terms of buying singles, not really. I was looking at those Vinicius cards, but they ended up being a bit too much for what I want to pay right now. Maybe when I move some stuff that I've got from SMC back, I might look to buy some more stuff, but we'll see.
Good stuff. All right. That was a great episode of Soccer Card Collective. We'll catch you next week. Enjoy the football for this round in the Champions League. And I don't really have anything to sign off. I've got to get something off Donna. Keep loving soccer or something like that. We'll work it out.
All right.
All right, lads. Have a good one. Speak to you soon.
Catch you later. See you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Soccer Card Collective on the Double Coverage Media Network. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. and hit that bell icon to know when we go live. Also, feel free to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time. Peace.